Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back to my Let's Play of Ys Origin. We last left off finally getting out of that trap and taking care of it, along with speaking with some of our comrades who wanted us to return back to the base. But of course we ignored them and came all the way over here where we found this menacing door that I believe leads to the main boss of the floor. So let's go ahead and get started. I think for the most part I plan to first go ahead and strengthen my leggings here, just to have a little bit more defense. And then I'm actually pretty close to a level here. If you see on my bar down below, and just to let you know, I plan to save up enough SP so that I do the increased SP gain. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that at some point. But yeah, as you can see, my XP bar, that little red to yellow gauge there, is actually pretty close to a level. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and fight a few enemies here very quickly and try and get that all, taken care of before I go through the giant menacing door that obviously leads to a boss. So far definitely playing through this game again, I really do appreciate just how everything looks in terms of the enemies and characters. You know, they're fairly distinctive. Like I still remember back when I was playing through old PS1 games and just how kind of blocky and choppy and just how 3D was at the time there. But, you know, here we kind of have like a mix between 2D and 3D. Oh, there we go. I got that level I was looking for. You know, as I said, we had a mix between 2D and 3D here, in a way. And, you know, I think it's a fairly nice job with the texturing and just how everything looks. You can actually make out, you know, some of these smaller details, like the feathers on the side of her head here, her hair kind of shaking or moving as the character moves. So I feel like everything's pretty good here. And but now that we are at a sufficient enough level, let's go ahead and get through this door here. But I think the best part of this game, in terms of its graphics, are actually its enemies. And you'll see why in just a moment. Yeah, whenever you find a big open empty space, that's usually not a good thing, Unica. At least through my experience of playing through all these games. I'm not really sure a camp would be good here either. But yeah, so you see our friend here? Looks pretty intimidating, doesn't he? You won't know until you try, Unica. Good for you. You're kind of changing your convictions here and trying to take on this monster. So, but that's kind of how you fight him. But you do have to watch out for these little guys, because they do kind of mess around with your footing. And you also have to watch out for those attacks too. And it's also a good idea to take care of these little bugs that kind of, you know, oh crap, there we go. Okay, he took way too much damage there. So yeah, this is definitely not like, ah, darn it. There we go. Yeah, they always do that, you know, when you get really close to beating them and then they, ah, crap. But thankfully we can retry right where we left off and be able to take them on, so the biggest issue with that match, though, was of the damage I took from, I definitely took too much damage, especially when he, was able to bite me down when he was sucking me in and all that. But kind of once you get his pattern down, he's not too bad to take on. And also the reason to take out the little bugs when you have the chance is because he can actually use them to heal himself. But you don't want to kind of let him go like this for too long, because then he'll just wake up and you won't be able to do any more damage. Darn it. It's always annoying, those little guys who kind of, you know, run away. Come on. And as I said, they, because of the, darn it. But yeah, so, you know, do your best to try and do as much damage as you can when he's like this. The next time I do it, I should be able to get him, though. Darn it. I always feel like I should have been able to escape that, but no, he still gets me anyway. There we go. Ah, finally. I was pretty close, though. I don't usually like cutting it that close, though. But thankfully we got a full heal back. And oh look, the stairs rose. Yeah, that's kind of gonna be how a lot of the boss battles will be. They'll be pretty intense, and a lot of the bosses will be kind of these big menacing things that you don't normally encounter. So the contrast between the little guys you face and the bosses is fairly substantial. But let's see, let's go ahead and get this open and purified, so now if something happens, we'll either return there or to the next save point when we get there. But yeah, so the biggest highlight I do feel for this game are the enemies, and just how varied they are in their attacks and their patterns. That a lot of work was put into them, and including the bosses, and just how interesting they can look. Or let me see, was there? No, I think I should go over here first. There we go. So, like, for the most part, I never seem to really get that annoyed or tired of playing this game, really. Like, I know I've played this at least once so far. But of course, if you play the other Ys games, then you know, I've played plenty of the Ys series several times, and I feel like that if there's a game you like enough that you can play several times and still not get bored with it, then you know, I think that means it's a pretty good game. There we go. You know, sadly, when it comes to like Secret of Mana, one of the games I've touted and I'm sure I've said how, you know, it's one of my favorites and I really liked, but I've, of course, grown a bit out of it and that it's maybe not as good as I used to remember. But yeah, now we can finally dash, or at least move faster. But I just have it set right now so that it automatically just dashes whenever I'm moving. So, because there aren't too many times when we'll need to be stealthy. So, that's not really how this game works for the most part. But yeah, the, like, Secret of Mana, at least, lately, even with the new remake that came out, and I have been playing a little bit of it, but sadly, I haven't gotten into it enough to actually play through it completely already. So, and after, like, playing it again, it sort of made me really realize that I've kind of found the game boring now, and that I would enjoy it a bit more if I could play it with my friends, because I think that's kind of the advantage to that game itself, at least, more than anything else, I believe. But you know, even the remake does have new things in it that do make it better and would make it interesting and more enjoyable, but I guess for me, at least, with how often I played the game, it wasn't enough to really change, or to get me to kind of play through it completely on my own, because I've played Secret of Mana plenty of times on my own already. So, but you know, hey, I'll definitely get around to maybe doing a Let's Play for it, who knows, but I'm still kind of working on it. There we go. And we got a level at least, so... What level are we now? Okay, level 10. So... Yeah, yeah, so pretty much we were only level 9 when we took on that boss. Which isn't too bad. As you saw, being level 9 didn't really hurt us too much. But if you ever do have trouble with an enemy or bosses, then you can always just grind up a bit. You know, I think that's kind of what, definitely because this is a very much frenetic, you know, like you feel like everything's very fast and you're fighting these monsters and everything's going fairly quickly, that, you know, I think it really helps with its combat compared to other games. Like, if Secret of Mana's combat was like this, then I'm thinking a lot of people would not have some of the issues they have with it. But then again, it's not the combat itself that makes Secret of Mana kind of weak in terms of other games. So now we got some new armor though, with the ring mail. Of course, sadly, it doesn't really change how she looks, but oh well, they could only do so much sometimes. There we go. You know, because if they did change how she looked here whenever she equipped new armor or stuff, then they would also have to change her character portrait as well, I think. Which I'm sure could, you know, just keep compounding and creating more work until they might not have trouble finishing the game. But hey, we just got another level, so we're now level 11. But yeah, so, like, I definitely feel like Secret of Mana itself could have used, the remake at least, could have used a few more tweaks and changes to it that would have helped. like one of the weirder things I noticed was that all the animations they did for some of the cutscenes were recreated, you know, recreated exactly from the original, which, if people recall how some of the animations were in that, it's pretty cringy. And, you know, it's kind of like, wait, come on, this is freaking, you know, 2018. We can do better than this. You know, like, well, like, think about it. Think of how people would probably react if, when they did finally remake Final Fantasy VII and finish with that it was almost the exact same in terms of cutscenes, how things played out, how the battles or attacks were, everything about it was the exact same, except it just looked prettier, or something. So, I sort of feel like with that, at least, like, I'm sure a lot of people would be a lot angry, and plenty of people have already complained with, you know, what they did with Secret of Mana and how they handled the remake for that one. Oh, come on. There we go. So now we got another statue open to us here. But I'm not going to take it on just yet, because there is another path that we can take that I think, well, I figured I would check out to see where that leads. So it's definitely helped that I was able to get some extra HP, just because these smoke guys are kind of annoying with their attacks and all. And then, of course, you can't really stay under here too long without potentially dying from lack of oxygen, which is always a problem in any game. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty much hoping to try and lead some of them over here just so I can take them out. And not worry about dying from the lack of water. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, almost, but I'll just go ahead and run over here. But yeah, so I definitely, at least my feelings towards the Secret of Mana remake, I feel like they did some good things for it that is nice to have, but it does feel like there were a few issues that they maybe, like, I guess it could have been that they, like, the time and effort they wanted to put into the game was maybe not as much as they would have wanted to. But then again, like, I'm not sure how many people were asking for a straight remake of Secret of Mana when I think about it. Like, I would have appreciated it, you know, if they did, and I have, but I guess I never thought to ask for it, because I thought for the most part the game itself, or like, if they were to do a remake, if they did, you know, when they would do a remake for Secret of Mana, that they would maybe focus on just what was missing from the game originally. Because, you know, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but the game was actually, you know, originally designed for the CD add-on, and you know, when that didn't happen, they had to take out 60% of the game's content. So, you know, it's kind of like, so what would this game be like if it had all that extra content that it was missing? And is that content still, you know, existing or not? Or at least the ideas for it existed. You know, that's kind of the question I would have for them. And would they put it in the game to add all that new content for it, as well as, you know, because the game itself had its issues. Like, funny enough, it became this huge thing that everyone praises for what it did and what it was, but, you know, the game actually has a lot of problems. Okay, I'm level 12 right now, and I'm a bit, you know, low on health here. Ah, crap. Darn it. Oh well. Thankfully, I did you know, oh, it actually leads me back to this guy where I have to beat him again. It's kind of weird. God darn it. I was too aggressive there, but let me just activate this sooner. There we go. So, like, I won't deny the problem Secret of Mana had, and that if they were to do a remake for it, then I feel like they would have to fix all those problems, as well as, you know, just add new stuff to it, to make it even, you know, better. Because I feel like that's what everyone really looks for whenever they do, when people do a remake of a game, is that they take what was good about the game and make things better about it. Like, I feel like a lot of people, and myself included, saw the potential Secret of Mana had, and that we still enjoyed for what it did right, but we saw that it could be so much more than just what it was. And, you know, if they were to ever do a remake, then we would hope they could somehow achieve that potential. So, crap, I'm kind of low on mana here, or I'm still recharging, which is nice. I don't think this game could have worked any other way if they made it so that you had only a limited pool of mana and it didn't recharge. But so, and I think that's sort of what people are hoping for Final Fantasy VII as well, in that it achieves its fullest potential, and that, you know, that the technological limitations that were applied to it back on the PS1, you know, don't affect how the remake is now. So, hopefully that is kind of what happens, that they make all the changes they need to while making improvements to it. Because, oh, okay, I took way too much damage there. And it's nice that I can just go back there and revive, or heal up. But yeah, I do want to... Oh wow, he really hits hard like that, doesn't he? There we go. I finally got that level up I was missing before. But alright. Sadly, that's all the time we have for today, so join us next time as we continue our journey through this area, picking up that chest, sadly, we missed when we got killed, and then, of course, hopefully finding our way throughout the next area to figure out where we go from here. So until next time, have fun gaming.